while ago, I dropped a glass and it shattered all over the kitchen floor. And as I was cleaning it up, making sure the dog wouldn't walk on it, I caught myself thinking, really, Femke, you can't even hold a glass properly? Now, I call myself a master of self-gentleness, yeah? And there I was, criticizing myself for dropping a glass. But here's the thing though. That moment, that critical thought, is not a problem. What happens next is what matters, because I noticed it. I heard myself being unkind, and then pretty quickly I thought, come on, it's a glass. You're human. Move on. And I did. Instead of 10 minutes of replaying it, I just noticed, responded gently and moved on. That is what self-gentleness mastery actually looks like. It's not the absence of an unkind thought. It's the moment right after it. And I think a lot of people give up on this process because they measure it wrong. They expect that at some point the inner critic will just go quiet, that they'll stop being hard on themselves, that the critical thoughts simply won't come anymore. And when it does come, and it always does, they conclude that nothing has changed, that they are back to square one, that this isn't working. But that is not the measure. The measure is what you do in the moment right after. How quickly you catch it. How gently you respond to yourself when you do. Whether the critical thought spiral appears, or whether you find your way back to that gentleness. So let me give you some other examples from my own life. I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I think, I used to look so much better. Well, once I would have carried those thoughts through the whole day. Now I notice it, I feel that pang, yeah. And then I think, well, this is not a helpful place to spend my morning. And I make my coffee. Or a friend calls when I'm already really tired and I know I can't really be there for her the way she needs. So I tell her, I'm tired right now. Can I call you back later? And sometimes something in me still says, come on, she needs you. But I notice that too. And I honor what I actually need. Not perfectly and not without that little sense of guilt. But I do it. And that is what changing feels like. It's not huge, not sudden, no quantum leaps, not a version of you that never struggles. It feels like a slightly shorter gap between the unkind thought and the gentle response. It feels like catching yourself a little earlier. It feels like this thought spiral being a little shorter or perhaps not happening at all. It feels like being able to have a hard day and still come back to yourself by evening. It feels like the weight lifting, not all at once, but gradually, incrementally, in ways you might not even notice until one day you look back and you realize something has shifted. And the belief underneath shifts too. That's actually the deeper change, not just what you do when the critical thought comes, but what you believe about yourself in the harder moments, whether you feel somewhere underneath that you are worthy of your own care, that you don't have to earn your own gentleness, that you are allowed to be here as you are without proving anything. That shift is slow, but it's the one that lasts. And this is what I call the self-gentleness perspective. Self-gentleness is the practice of radically accepting yourself as the most important person to consistently deserve your own gentleness. And if you are somewhere in that process now, somewhere between knowing this matters and actually feeling it in your bones, I want you to know that is exactly where the self-gentleness process lives. It's not at that finish line. There is no finish line. It's right here in the middle, noticing and coming back. Again and again, noticing, and coming back. That is enough. That is everything. If you're curious where you are in the self-gentleness process right now, I made a short quiz that might help you see yourself a little bit more clearly. You find a link below. And if this resonated, I would love for you to subscribe. I make one video every week, and this is exactly the kind of thing we explore. I really hope to see you in the next one. I'm sending you my love. Bye-bye.